Okay, so in the last tutorial, we created this box shape here. Now we're going to learn how to cut into its corners to get something that looks like this moonlander base that you see right here. Now, as you can see, it's the same fundamental square shape, but these four corners have been cut out. And that's exactly what we're going to be tackling in this tutorial. So if you're just joining us for the first time, this is part of an ongoing beginner FreeCAD tutorial series. Links to the earlier tutorials can be found in the description below. Now, throughout this series, we've been using a moonlander as our reference model. So if you would like to follow along with the same reference images here, you can download them for free using the resource link in the description. Or if you'd prefer to work from your own product ideas, head over to Lightroom and try the CAD sketch tool. After logging in, simply upload any product image that you have, and then you can flatten that into a CAD-friendly 2D sketch from any angle that you choose. We've also recently added some really beautiful new sketch styles that are worth checking out as well. Okay, so before we jump in, let's just quickly define the two tools within FreeCAD that we're going to be working with today. So a chamfer is an angled cut that creates a sharp defined transition between two surfaces. And a fillet, on the other hand, is a curved transition that blends two surfaces together for a smoother, softer edge. Now, looking at our Moonlander reference here, we can clearly see that the corner cuts are sharp and angled, so we'll be reaching for the chamfer tool here today. Now, there are a couple of different ways to apply a chamfer in FreeCAD. The first approach is to simply select the edge that you want to chamfer. Now, I'll select this edge here, but notice how thin it is, which makes it easy to accidentally select a vertex or a face instead. So to prevent that from happening, you can always use this selection filter up here in the toolbar, and we can set it to edge. Now with that active, FreeCAD will only allow us to select edges as we navigate around the shape. It's a handy option to know about, especially as your models become more complex. But for this simple shape though, I'm just going to go ahead and turn this filter back off. So in our case, we need to apply the chamfer to all four corner edges at once. Now you could obviously just do this one by one, but since each corner will be identical, it's going to be much faster for us to just select all four of these edges together. So there are actually a few different ways to do this. So the first approach is to hold Control and click each edge that you want to select. The catch here is that these edges on the far side of the object will be hidden from view. So to get around this, what we'll do is we'll temporarily release Control. We'll rotate the object to expose those hidden edges, and then we'll hold Control again down and we'll select these edges right here. And then we'll just repeat that until all four edges have been selected. Now the second approach is to switch your draw style to wireframe. Now with the object rendered as a wireframe, all edges are visible at once, so there's no rotating required, making it easy to select all four in one go. The third approach is to select the chamfer tool first before making any selections. Now you'll notice an option under chamfer parameters right here to make a selection now. So what we'll do is we'll click on that and then we'll select our first edge or face if we were working with faces here. From here, you no longer need to hold Control down. You can just rotate your object here and then click each remaining edge. Every selection here will appear in this list right here as you add it. So as you can see, there are a few different ways to make your selection. So in my case, I'm just going to use the first approach here. Okay, so now with all four of my edges selected, what we're going to do here is we're going to select this option for chamfer, which you see right here. But also keep in mind that these same operations are also found in the top navigation bar right here as well. Okay, so after applying the chamfer, you'll notice all four of my edges now have a subtle chamfer applied. Now there are two ways to adjust the size here. First, you can type a value directly into your input field, and then you can scroll with your mouse wheel over that field, which is a really quick way just to kind of nudge your value up or down. Or what you can do is you can just drag the arrows directly on the canvas for a more visual approach. Now, a couple of other options worth knowing about here. So enabling show final result will give you a clean preview of how the finished shape will look, while disabling show preview strips away the overlay. You can also switch your draw style to shaded to remove the edge lines if you wanted a cleaner view. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set everything back to its defaults here. And then I'm going to click on OK to apply the chamfer. Okay, now for the sake of learning, let's actually undo that. What we'll do is we'll just press Control Z, or what we can do is we can click undo from the top navigation bar here, because there's something really important to know. And that's that when you're applying a chamfer or a fillet, you're not limited to just applying this to edges. You can apply them to faces as well. So for example, let's hold Control and we'll select all of the faces of our object right here. And then we'll click on Chamfer. So here you'll see the chamfer is applied across the entire object with the cut size adjustable in the parameters panel here. Now the same logic applies to the Fillet tool as well. You can apply it to individual edges for targeted smoothing or select multiple faces to round off the entire object at once. Now, one last thing worth knowing about with chamfers is that up until this point, every chamfer that we've applied has been symmetrical, so the cut extends equally in both directions from the edge. Now, you can change that by switching the drop down from equal distances to 2 distances, which lets you control each side of the chamfer independently for an asymmetrical cut. Okay, so with that covered, let's actually apply this to our actual moonlander. So let's go back to our base shape and reapply the chamfer to all 4 corners. So what you can see now is that we're getting something that closely resembles the base that we've been working towards. Also, if you'd like to follow along with your own custom product ideas rather than using the moonlander that we're using here, just head over to Lightloop to learn more about our 2D sketch and product ideation tools for designers and engineers. A link to Lightloop can be found in the description below. Also, if you found this tutorial helpful, a like and subscribe is greatly appreciated and goes a long way in keeping the channel going. The next tutorial in the series is linked in the description below. I'll see you over there.